Hey everybody, welcome from Knife Kits and Holstersmith. Today we are going to be making a credit card wallet. This wallet's going to come with everything that you need to make it. It's going to come with all the leather, it's going to come with your wax cord, and it's going to come with a couple of needles. You'll understand why two needles here in a minute, because that's what you have to do a saddle stitch. And this is a really nice leather too. It's got a good feel to it, it's nice and supple. So you have to look when you're putting your pieces together, okay, because this is obviously a multi-layer, so you've got different slots or holes for your credit cards. So the back credit card is going to have obviously your long piece, that's like your main wallet piece, and then it's going to have the second longest piece. So what we're doing here is we are just threading our needles on either end. Make sure that you don't have too much leftover needle on each end, because what that's going to do is kind of mess you up and you won't have enough wax cord. Now, this first part, you see those four holes that he's running the needle through. Those four holes are if you want your credit card to stick up further in the back slot than the front slot. If you want your credit cards to be like the same height in the back slot and front slot, just ignore those four holes. So here we just tie it off pretty short right after we've tied it, and then like the way that it looks there. Okay, and then what we're going to do now is we're going to put the outside piece on, right? This would be where your next credit card goes, and then on the back side, you're putting the back side of your wallet, right? That'll be the same height, and then the small, the other small slip-in area for a card, driver's license, or whatever. So now again, we're going to thread our needles. And we're going to thread this on both ends. So you're going to use the rest of your wax cord for this. So whatever you didn't use on those four holes, if you did not use those four holes, and again, it's preference. I don't like my one credit card like sticking way up above the others. So I don't do that. But on the other hand, some people do because it does make it easier to get the backside. So it's kind of a matter of what you like the look of and the ease of getting stuff out. So now we are going to do what's called a saddle stitch. So we're going to take needle number one, I'm calling needle number one, and we're going to stick it through the front, right? There's no real front or back. We're going to call it the front. And then we're going to pull our two needles together as you would like putting shoestrings in a shoe. And then we are going to take the second needle and we're going to run it through the second hole. And then we're going to take the first needle and we're going to run it back through the second hole, right? So now it's in the front. Now the front needle goes through the third hole. And then the second needle that was already on the back is going to come through the third hole from the back to the front. So basically you got a needle on each side. You're going to take the needle from the front through the hole, then the other needle that was in the back through the hole. And each time you're just going to pull it snug. You're not cranking down on it or you'll end up with a really wonky looking wallet. You just want it snug so that it looks nice and neat. And then the trick is to pay attention to which needle you are working on. So it's kind of complicated to say. It's actually more easy just to watch and see how it's done. But essentially, like I said, pick which side of your wallet's your front, and you're going to run one needle through that hole, and then Whatever needle was already on the back side, you're going to run back through that hole. And again, with multiple pieces of leather especially, it can be tough to get the needle through. So you can just use a pair of pliers to pull it all the way through. Now, as we're going through this, obviously this takes a while. You're going to have to go through and do all these. But you know, if you don't like just the finish of the leather like it is, me, I'm fine with the leather just like it is. I don't actually treat it. I figure, hey, I'm not putting it outside in the weather. It goes in my pocket. It'll probably be fine. But if you want, you can use neat's foot oil, mink oil, lanolin-based conditioners. You can use beeswax, carnauba wax, commercial waxes if you want to make it more moisture resistant, that kind of thing. You can use something like a Fiebing's Resolene. That's Fiebings Resolene. If you want for a finish, that's an acrylic finish, glossy to semi-glossy. It's water resistant, flexible, lasts a long time. You just apply it with a sponge, and you know, if you want, that's kind of glossy, and if you want a more satin look, you can dilute it with some water. But otherwise, stuff like the oils or the beeswax will keep it soft and supple and keep it lasting a long time. So when you get to your last stitch, you're going to run where you've run your back needle through the last hole. You're going to run your front needle through the second to the last hole again, and then you're just going to tie everything off a couple of times, right, like a little square knot. Cut it short, and then you can use a lighter on this wax cord. It will kind of melt it in, and then you can just use a burnishing tool or your finger or whatever to kind of push it in to get it looking as neat as you can. And then you have yourself a very nice wallet for credit cards, ID, money, anything that you want.